Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about suffering less by knowing more. And I think that this is a really relevant topic right now to everything that's going on in the world. I can only speak from my perspective of living in the United States, but there's a lot of information that is being shared right now. There's a lot of information that's being disseminated and put into our faces strategically through the news, through social media, through advertisements. And with the, implementation of AI into like regular society, it's a little bit difficult to tell what's real and what isn't. And I definitely understand that that was on purpose. I think that, AI in the way that AI has been around for a long time, but I think AI in the way that people see it now is in like modified media is something that's been around for probably decades and decades and decades, but it's something that's just now being introduced into the public within the last like 5 years. And so I think that that was strategic, and then now it's kind of difficult to tell between what's real and what's fake. And if you are into manifestation and creating your own reality and things of that nature, you understand that the mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is fake. That's why people say when you're manifesting that you need to abandon your rational mind and that you need to think, at the highest level possible, and that, you need to cultivate the feeling of something being real, because you can literally not tell between what's real and what's fake. And so I say all this to say that a lot of the information that is coming to light right now can be used to alleviate suffering. And some might see this like as two sides of a coin, right? You might be like, okay, well, there's all these horrible things in the news. There's all these terrible things that are going on. How is this information going to be used to alleviate suffering or to make us feel better or to push us into a higher frequency when it's just literally so bad and so negative? And I get that. I actually felt that way too. But I think once you start kind of taking a step back and removing the emotion out of it, you start to understand that things are done strategically and things are done for a reason, and that there are certain groups of people who know and understand and learn about things way before the general population does and the general public does, and they're able to prepare, they're able to make certain moves and do certain things. And once you start to kind of study and look around and say, okay, well, why is this information coming out now? Why is this happening right now in this way? Why is this, why are we talking about this now? Like, what is the purpose of it? When you start asking why, instead of, oh my gosh, that's so crazy, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm hurt, you're really able to decipher and decode what's actually going on and what's actually going to happen and what we're moving towards. And I'm pretty new to this. I'm not saying that I'm an expert. I'm like very base level new with like symbolism and decoding and things like that. But I've come to understand that the more that I learn, the less that I suffer. And even when I do suffer, I understand that it's my own perspective and it's my own mindset that's making me suffer, if that makes sense. So if I have a day, let's say, and I'm going to use an example too to kind of, tie back into the title of the video, which is suffer less by knowing more. But, let's say that I'm depressed or I'm upset or something happens that just really gets me like super upset throughout the day. In the past, I would sit in my own emotions, my own feelings. I would let it dictate the rest of my day. If something happened to me at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm still thinking about it up until I go to sleep, at 11 p.m. I'm, upset. I'm like, okay, why is this happening to me? I'm questioning things. I'm not understanding. I'm not focused. I'm not able to understand what's going on and actually take in information. I'm just upset and I'm emotional, right? But recently, as you guys know, as the videos that I've been making have shown, I've been understanding what emotions actually are, which are energy and motion. I've been understanding what manifestation is and how things actually come into light and come into being in this 3D world. This sounds like literally insane if you are not on this same level, or if you're not like thinking this way. If I would have told myself this, or somebody would have talked to me like this 5 years ago, I'd have been like, get away from me. What are you talking about? I don't understand. But stick with me, right? So when you understand that in order for something to manifest in the 3D as we currently see it, it needs to be a frequency first. And frequency usually comes in the form of emotions, feelings, thoughts, vibrations, which then lead to that. Then it's like, I'm not as upset anymore. I still do get upset, right? I'm on my journey. I'm still learning. When you've had a habit for a certain number of years, 25, 30 years, it's a little bit difficult to break because you're stubborn in your ways. So I still do have my days where I get upset, but now the turnaround time is a lot quicker. And even when I'm upset, I still have this awareness of, okay, Alexis, like, you're mad at this thing that this person said to you, but you do understand that this is just a reflection of vibration and energy. Or like, hey, you know, this thing fell through and it's causing you to feel angry or something of the like. But instead of just sitting and feeling angry and feeling like something's happening to me, I now understand that things are happening because of me and for me. And that in turn has alleviated a lot of my suffering, because now instead of being upset about something for 2, 3, 4, 5 days or weeks or months or holding grudges, I'm able to let things go. And it starts with the little things first, and then it builds up to the bigger things. And this is my first time kind of experiencing having to let go of old stagnant energy that I've been holding on to for years and years and years. And so I find myself, like I said, tripping and slipping and getting upset and getting mad all over again and getting angry all over again. And even throughout this whole process, instead of just being blind to it like I was and sitting in my anger, sitting in my emotions and feelings, I'm actually, I have the understanding and I have the knowledge that, okay, like I said before, this is just a reflection of my own energy. You know what I'm saying? So knowledge in that way, that's just one example, but knowledge will literally alleviate your suffering, and knowing more will literally alleviate your suffering to the point that you'll get to the point when you start studying and learning and understanding more and practicing more in real life. And just by meditating and praying and throughout your own mind, you'll start to understand why things are the way that they are. So when you see things on the news, or when you see things that maybe are meant to upset and bother the masses, you're not upset at it. You're not bothered by it. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, because I see a lot of things in the news right now that are honestly terrible. And me 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have been like glued to the television. I would have been stressed. I would have been upset. I would have been panicking, not knowing what to do. But because I have taken a step back and I've been studying certain things, I kind of have knowledge on what's happening and what's going on. Not all of the knowledge. I'm not saying that I'm all knowing, you know, all the time, but I'm able to decipher what's really happening. And it's super easy to tell what is put out to trigger you and what's put out to set you off emotionally versus things that are put out there to inform you and to help you learn and to help you grow. So that's basically my point of the video, you guys. I'm really excited to talk about this because it's just so relevant in today, especially here in the United States. Like I said, there's wars that are happening. There are things that are going on. There are things that are changing. There's a lot that's moving and a lot that's going to keep on changing. So if you feel confused, if you feel scared, if you feel frightened, if you feel like you're suffering, like literally just try to learn, any topic that you're gravitated towards, try to understand the deeper meaning and the symbolism behind it. And I promise you, it will help you out and it will make you feel better. And it's all for the better good, honestly. I'm not saying the things that are specifically happening, but I'm saying you learning and knowing more is all for the better good of yourself, because then you can position yourself to not be reacting emotionally, but reacting intelligently, reacting with the knowledge that you need to have in order to succeed. So yeah, that's basically my video, you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you understand. Let me know if you feel me, if you feel what I'm saying, if you understand what it is that I'm trying to say. If you have any questions in the comments or discussion points in the comments, let me know below. I would love to talk about it. And I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.